I thought I'd take some time to talk about the situation going on with Iran and the situation between the United States and Iran and Israel. And so much has happened in the past few days. It's really unprecedented. We've seen nothing like what's been going on over the past few days, culminating in what we have as of right now, which is a supposed ceasefire. And at least for the first few hours, it appears to be holding. So over the weekend, the United States bombed with bunker buster bombs Iran's nuclear development facilities, facilities that they have been working on for decades. Now, this would obviously be a terrible blow to Iran, and Iran was warned by the United States that this would happen, and the United States has actually done this. Donald Trump has chosen to do this. And politically, on the MAGA side of things, there's been a lot of pushback, and generally, I think, from Americans as a whole, nobody wants to be involved in another forever war in the Middle East. Nobody wants to get entangled in another war that would cost the United States a lot of money and troops and not really earn us any goodwill around the world. So I think most Americans have been very adamantly against getting involved with Iran. That said, there is a certain group of people in the United States, you could call them the neocons politically, and people aligned that way politically have been wanting the United States to get involved. And there are a number of people in Congress and in government who are really gung ho for a war or showdown with Iran. However, most of the American population isn't. The interesting thing is, we just bombed Iran, destroyed all their work for decades, and as of tonight, there is now a ceasefire. Now, this ceasefire happened after a few tit for tat exchanges between Iran and Israel. And I call them tit for tat. You know, people are killed in these exchanges of missiles, but it's essentially, it doesn't change anything as far as what's going on between these countries. The other thing is, Iran also fired missiles into Qatar at a U.S. airbase there. And this was, according to what I've seen on Twitter, this was supposedly telegraphed. It was essentially a for show kind of performative missile strike on a U.S. airbase. Didn't kill anyone, and as far as I know, really didn't damage anything. And it looks like this missile strike was made for domestic purposes for Iran's own political well-being, the leadership of Iran's political well-being. So here we are today. Now we have a ceasefire that, at least in initial stages, seems to be holding. This is absolutely incredible. It's not anything that I would have imagined 2 days from now. I was expecting the worst consequences. When I saw the strikes on Qatar, I figured, well, that's the type of retaliation that the U.S. should expect. And I saw retaliation against Israel as well. And I was thinking, who knows where this goes? It's kind of what you would expect. You don't see an off ramp to this. But we're now told that we have this ceasefire. And the ceasefire appears to be holding after, I believe it was 4 a.m. Tehran time. Both Israel and Tehran made kind of last minute or last hour strikes against one another. And one of the Iranian agencies was even bragging on X about they got the last strike in or something like that. And previously, before that, they said that they had not agreed to any kind of ceasefire, but their foreign minister has essentially said that they're not going to continue the war. And Donald Trump's statement, his original statement on Truth Social, said that this should be called a 12-day war. Also, according to the Times of Israel, Israel says it's agreed to a bilateral ceasefire with Iran, and they will respond forcefully if it's violated. But as of now, it hasn't been violated, and there is a ceasefire. So this is fairly amazing. So, are we witnessing Donald Trump's 4D chess. I know there are a lot of people on the MAGA right who are very upset about the strike on Iran, and I'm absolutely not a fan of a strike on Iran myself. And then on the other side of things, there are a lot of neocons and warhawks, both in the United States and in Israel, who want to finish off the Iranian regime. And in order to do that, that would require a lot more military action. But I don't think that that is something that the United States would really want to get involved in. Everything else with MAGA is going to go south if we get involved with something like that. So, is it possible that this is the off ramp and this is as far as it goes with the United States involvement between Iran and Israel? And where is it going to go from here? Because there are still hostilities remaining, and there are camps in both countries that still have a thirst for war between the two countries. So, that's not going to go away automatically. But is this an overall off ramp to the United States getting out of it? And you also have to admit that if Iran's nuclear programs have been derailed in a significant way, even if they're not permanently derailed, they may be derailed for years. That is going to drop the pressure and drop the temperature for anything to happen. The other thing that needs to be said is the Iranian regime is not very popular in Iran, and maybe they feel they have to make a compromise like this after putting out some strikes, missile strikes against the United States and against Israel to feed the public in Iran to say that they've stood up and defended the country. But overall, nothing much is going to happen, and they're just happy to be there to remain in power. Is that the way that it's going to go? I don't know the way that it's going to go. I'm already surprised by what has happened. That's why I mentioned the 4D chess, because I don't think anyone saw a ceasefire coming. Is this ceasefire going to develop further into just an end of the war, an end of hostilities, with each side taking their lumps and essentially walking away from it? Or is it going to escalate further? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I didn't see this coming. And I don't normally post on geopolitics or wars, but I felt this was such an extraordinary situation, I needed to post on it. And if you have an opinion on this, if you think you know better than me, please tell me in the comments. I'm happy to be told I'm wrong. I'm used to being told that I'm wrong. So thanks a lot. And if you like content like this, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll be putting out more in the future, mostly on finance and economics, but I'll probably be getting involved in some geopolitics as well. So thanks for watching.